Welcome to your Conscious Choices for Wellness podcast, hosted by B. Crutelli. This is a space for everyone to learn anything and everything related to healthy healing, including naturopathic medicine, music, dance, yoga, meditation, eco-fashion, mothering, and organic lifestyle choices. Topics for expanding universal consciousness. Come join me weekly as we delve in and begin this journey, sharing valuable content gathered over the past 3 decades, helping to support a healthier and more sustainable future for all. Okay. Hello and welcome to the Conscious Choices for Wellness podcast. This is the very last episode of 2025, and I am actually really starting to celebrate the end of this year. Next year, I'm telling you, can only be better, y'all, because this year was fucking nuts. And I know that I'm not the only one that is feeling this, that has been feeling this for many, many months. It has been quite the spin and transformation. But, there are many, many good ways we can look at it because lots of change is being made in the world on a level of community coming together, people changing their mind, their way of looking at things, because we have to. It's like we're being forced into either you're going to change and it's going to be made collectively, spinning us into things that will come our way brighter in the future. Or if you don't, you're basically going to be left behind and you're not going to be part of the revolution that's happening. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. I always spin off. Maybe it's my ADD. I don't know. Never been diagnosed, but I think we all have it a little bit. But today is, about leaving behind. I did title it Left Behind, the 2025 Shedding or Shredding into Transformation. Shedding is what is happening without us even trying, but it's also shredding. It's like burning up the past, what's not serving us, what hasn't served us, what we need to let go of in order to evolve, because our world is changing quickly. As we have all known it, it is going into new times, very much, I don't know if you want to call it modern times, a new modern era, just a blast into the future, if I could say that. But regardless of that, on a personal level, we're all feeling many, changes of what we personally need to let go of, shed in order to grow, in order to be strong for this new era. So 2025 has been quite the year for most of us. If not all, have felt some sort of transformative power on some level or another. This year may have been record of change in my book over my 50 years on this planet journey. One of the toughest for sure to endure for myself from the many losses the past months have brought me. There is good reason for the heaviness of 2025 being the year in the Chinese 12-year zodiac calendar of the snake. So I didn't know until, several months ago, maybe in the fall, that it was the year of the snake. I don't usually follow the zodiac very closely, although I do believe in it. And I'm an ox, or water buffalo. So that's my zodiac sign. And the snake, as we all know, or reptiles, they shed their skin. They are one of the creatures that sheds, we even shed our skin. We just don't really realize it, but we're constantly like shedding our skin, losing our hair. It's just like a natural process, right? So the snake literally sheds its skin. I don't know if it's every year. I didn't really research how often the shedding happens, but they are a symbol of shedding what no longer serves purpose, shedding what needs to go for transformation to fully happen. So it's been a lot, and I've handled a lot in my life. I've gone through a lot and I've made it through. So I just really had to remember that so I didn't lose my shit, that I've made it through, certain things that were very difficult, and I've come through it. And I know that whatever's happening, this year and all the things, that I will make it through. And I'm not going to get into all the details, but it's been fucking hard. So, how can we truly grow into who we are meant to be without this? Without fully shedding all the stuff that we're just carrying around, right? Like, what if we would just carried around all of the hair on our head and we never lost any hair? What if we never, shed off any of the dead skin? I mean, you've seen this, right? Like maybe a few examples. People that don't, maybe ever wash their skin, and they have a lot of damage on their skin, a lot of old skin that's just like hanging on, that they're not sloughing off, they're not washing their face or even their arms or their hands or whatever. And you see how the skin starts to look, right? It's just all this like old stuff you're carrying around, and it's just like damaging. It's actually damaging what's underneath, and it doesn't look very healthy. So if we're not letting go of what's inside, of the things that we're holding on, the emotions that we're holding on to, the baggage that we're carrying around, maybe it's our thoughts thinking about the past, we're carrying that around, it's only going to damage us. It's only going to like not serve us to our highest. We're not going to feel good. We're not going to be able to really do the things that maybe we think we want to do, but you can't do that when you're holding on to the old stuff. So what I kind of learned earlier this year, or maybe it was even last year, I started learning about how I need to let go, how we need to let go of those maybe people in our lives that are negative, that we have had in our lives for a long time, but maybe we don't feel so good about having them in our lives. And we can only have so many close people in our lives, right? There's only so many people that you can really surround yourself with and be close with. We only have so much capacity. So if we're surrounding ourselves with people that really are not positive and maybe are just negative energy, you know what I mean? Then how can we let in those that we want to have positive influence in our life, that will only drive positive change in our life? So the only way to do that is to let go of the negative, whether it's people, whether it's, whatever energy we're surrounding ourselves with, that's negative. It could be what we're watching, what we're consuming, what we're eating, what we're, doing on a daily, what we're reading, who we're talking with, right? So all of these things, if they're making us not feel good, like, have you ever had a conversation with someone and you feel like, maybe you want to talk to that person, but then you do, and you feel worse afterwards? That's an example of, okay, you need to just put a boundary up or just let go of that altogether. that will make space then for the new positive energy that you're trying to attract to actually come into your life. So that's what I realized, and that's what I started doing this year. And it happened like it just started like spinning, and one person after another. And it was like, wow, just like people I'd had in my life for a really long time. And some of it happened easily. And then other times it was very difficult, and it was a process, or just like happened like a falling out that was not very pretty and really hurt. And it was hard to kind of let go of the suddenness of it, and the drama maybe that happened in the midst of it. But all in all, it was like, okay, I know this is a good decision, and this finally needed to happen. So, yes, letting go of friendships that are no longer aligned, relationships that failed us, and attachments that were held onto for way too long. Somehow the universe will just make this shedding unfold when it's time. Like sometimes it just happens. Like, it's like, okay, you're like, it's like I started the process, and we're doing some of the things, but then the universe just like kicked in, was like, okay, I'm going to help you. We're going to get the rest of this done. um, this can be very unexpected, shocking oneself into a jolted chaos. So I felt like I was kind of like in a chaotic mess for a while, and I'm still coming out of it actually. I'm like at the end of it. Depending on what stage of life and wisdom you're in, this can feel different to each individual. For myself, as a mother, becoming an empty nester for the first time in 30 years was enough. That also happened this year. So that actually is something I feel like I'm still in the process of getting used to. It's probably going to take me maybe until summer, where I'm really feeling like, okay, it's been like over a year. I mean, my daughter will actually be graduated from high school this coming up spring. And I, just realized this last spring that she was unavailable. She's just not going to be around. And it happened with my other daughter too. When they're driving, they're about to graduate high school, they're working, they're, in the midst of figuring out what college to go to, and they've got all their friends, and they're, trying to get good grades and all this stuff. They don't have time for their parents, like I didn't have time for my parents at that age either. So I get it. But just, like letting go, being like, okay, you fully really do have time just to go into your next chapter and start your next chapter. And this is like my fourth child, my last one. So I know some of you moms might not get this. Maybe you have one or two kids, and it might be a little different for you. But for me, I had my last child 8.5 years after the child before. And so there was a big gap. And it was, not something that I thought I would be still being, a mom going into my 50s. I thought, at my mid 40s, I'd be completely free. And I wasn't quite yet. I still had to hold space and have a home, and be there for her when she needed me. I've been a mother, started having kids over 30 years ago now. And actually, it'll be going on 32 years here pretty soon. And I'm just adjusting to, not having to hold space. I mean, of course, you hold space as a mother, but not having to actually like have a home with a bedroom for your child, and that child like living with you. Like my situation is that I was no longer able to hold on to the home that I had for my daughter when she would come and be with me when she wasn't at her dad's. And it just got to be too expensive, and I had to let go of it, and I couldn't find something smaller that would serve the both of us. So she just, is now at her dad's. A lot of times teenagers too will decide which parent they want to live with because it's too much to go back and forth. That she had tried, she did a pretty good job of doing that for a very long time. And then she was, she had been 17 for a while. She was going into her senior year, and driving and working and, really involved with her friends and everything. And her dad was like the stable home that he's like never had to move. And she was actually born at that house. And so she was like, okay, it's fine. I'm just going to like go back to my dad's and embrace that. And that'll be my room for my senior year. So that's kind of the gist of that. But so, yeah, after, this realization of becoming an empty nester, that wasn't enough at all. I was also enduring the shedding of many close relationships, even lifelong. Some of this was intuitive, while other circumstances just unfolded before my eyes. Like I said, the universe just kind of stepped in and helped those other sheddings that needed to happen. And I'm grateful, but it was hard. So truths were told and masks fell off. Cycles that were toxic broke so that the real work and growth could happen. Midlife is a great time for this to transpire. I am grateful in the midst of the hardships this year has brought forth to me, though. When we go through what feels like the darkest moments in time, may we embrace what is the silence, asking for guidance, listen, learn, and grow. In fact, according to Deepak Chopra, wisdom teachings that I've been listening to almost on a daily now for probably about a year or more, suffering can be the very soil in which awakening grows. Let me say that again. When we suffer and we don't try to not feel the pain, and we are in the midst of our suffering, if we can feel the pain, accept it, recognize it, this can actually be the soil in which awakening inside will start to grow and blossom. And you'll begin to realize, things like you haven't seen. It's like the veil has been uncovered. And suffering can be the doorway then into freedom, right? Like freedom from not suffering anymore. So the next chapter will unfold flowing like it inevitably always does. The positive flow will be noticed if we are aware and not running away from the pain. This is a process, and I'm going through it, and I've been going through it, and I'm just sharing it with y'all. So mental health, I can tell you though, our mental health state is so important to notice and manage through these times, especially when everything seems to be falling apart. That's how we're going to stay strong and get through it and not break down, lose our shit, become homeless, suicidal. I've seen other people are really going through it. And it's tough out there. And every day our brothers and sisters are taking their lives, giving up for what is happening in this life, right? So I know firsthand it is not easy. And I have gone through my fair share of hardships my entire life, already enduring many losses, being homeless myself, joblessness, loneliness at times, and feeling others' pain as well. I'm very empathic. I have an episode on this. It's hard being an empath and feeling so many emotions, having to kind of guard yourself, protect yourself, not to take on other people's stuff, especially if you're already going through your own stuff. In the midst of going through some really hard times and trying to just find a home this year, which I'm almost there. I can't even say that I, found my home, and the home I think I'm going to get is going to be another temporary one. It's yeah, that's a whole nother thing I will probably just have a whole episode on, but I am writing my book on this. And it's going to kind of end with whatever the chapter is that's happening right now. Talking with people that are really going through their own stuff and being an empath and feeling other people's hardships while I'm going through my own hardships is a tough one because we want to be there for our sisters and our brothers and our family. And I'm grateful that actually my family hasn't had, too many things, or if anything, that they've needed me for. Maybe they know I'm going through my own stuff and they don't want to put anything else on me because they're my family. But I have friends that I feel like are family, and sometimes just listening, and trying to be there for them and what they're going through can be really difficult because I don't want it to like get in the way of what I'm trying to do and take on their pain, because I have like my own pain that I'm trying to feel good on a different level to attract what I want to attract into my life. And so it's like, okay, how do you find that kind of, I don't want to say happy medium, but that place of balance? So here are some helpful tips to keep going into this next chapter, things that have helped me, that have kept me going through some very, very difficult times. Okay. Being kind and gentle with yourself. You are here for a good reason. Okay. We all came here. We agreed to come here. We are here for a reason. You're not just here by mistake. Some people might think that, but I don't believe that. Breathing deeply, slowly, with conscious awareness. Of your breath, taking time for yourself to just be, having time in silence, being with yourself, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day. I'm telling you, it's important. You'll get to know yourself better. You'll be able to calm your nervous system. You'll be able to get insight. That's where you connect with higher power. It's where you connect with source and the universe and your angels, and just, taking a moment here and there when you can pause and be grateful. Acceptance of what is, letting go to move forward by softening the resistance. Okay, let me say that again. When we acceptance transforms the experience. It turns the pain into presence. It turns despair, grief into insight, and emptiness into openness when we accept and let go. Plant medicine, of course. Plant medicine is my ally. I have to consume plant medicine every day in some form to regulate and calm my nervous system. Some of the herbs that I use are lemon balm, ashwagandha, CBD. I'm just putting CBD as the one cannabinoid from cannabis that will help calm you. It'll help calm inflammation. It will help calm your nerves, help you to sleep. You can take it during the day as well. Passion flower, lavender, skullcap, and tulsi, or holy basil. It's also known as holy basil tulsi, are all good for your nervous system. You can even take many of these together. And I can say that having a calm and regulated nervous system will help you to get through hard times quicker. It'll help keep you balanced. You'll be able to think better, feel your intuition, and guide you to the next step, into the next chapter of where you're trying to move to, right? If you're in a hard time, you want to get out of it. You want to like, make space for yourself to call in the new, to, transform manifest and all that, you've got to have a calm and regulated nervous system. So this is very important. Breath work will help with that. Exercise in nature. Pause and breathe in the connection here. When you're out in nature, just pause, give thanks, connect with nature, touch a tree, ground your feet on the ground, breathe in the fresh air around the trees and the ocean, wherever you can be. Put your feet in the sand. So, so good for you. You will feel better instantly. Feeling joy and love every day through these practices, okay? Maybe through connecting with other positive people. We are all connected with animals. They're always a positive influence, right? So these are all just some tips that can help get you through. These are hard times. This year has been very difficult for many of us. And I want to be here to let you know that it's going to be okay. And 2026 has got to be a better year. It's just got to be. So we're in the ebb and the flow is beginning to happen. The horse is the zodiac sign in the Chinese calendar for 2026. The horse is all about galloping forward, moving into the next chapter, and transformation is inevitable. So we're shedding, we're letting go, and the snake is now moving away, and we're going to jump onto the horse. And even just, if you're afraid of horses, get past that fear. I fell off a horse when I was a kid, and I don't know if I ever got back on, but I took my youngest daughter to horseback riding lessons when she was younger, I remember. And I've been around horses, and they are amazing animals. And let's see what the horse can bring us into and ride us into this next year, galloping into the vision that you see where you want to go. Thank you all so much for being here. I really do love and appreciate any listeners that are out there. And I intend on keeping this podcast going every other week for a while until I get more settled in the spring. Maybe I will bring it back weekly like I was doing before. Yeah, it's been quite a journey the past several months. So thank you, and many blessings to you.
Thank you all so very much for listening today. I genuinely hope that you learned something, and I invite you to join me each week so you never miss a conscious wellness beat. This podcast holds a special place in my heart dedicated to my evolution here, my passionate mission to spread more consciousness for the much needed wellness on Earth. Come join me as a guest as well. Let's collaborate, making change for future generations.